She was practical. She never believed in love, yet she was promised to a man who seemed perfect. He was a dreamer, waiting for love to find him, hoping for a connection deeper than words. The other man? He had everything: wealth, charm, certainty, but he didn't have her heart. A storm, a moment, a choice. When faced with a love she never sought, would she take the safe path or follow the unseen thread of destiny? The wind whispered through the bustling city streets, where life moved in rhythms of its own, indifferent to those who wandered lost within it. Among the crowd was Mira, a quiet middle-class girl with a world built on logic, responsibilities, and walls she had long mastered in keeping intact. Love, to her, was nothing more than an illusion, a fleeting emotion she had no time or willingness to indulge in. Her heart belonged to books, ambitions, and solitude. On the other side of the same city lived Arav, a young man of boundless energy, warm eyes, and an unwavering belief in love. To him, love was the very essence of existence, a connection that transcended time, fate, and reason. He spent his days searching, hoping that somewhere among the billions of souls there was one meant for him, someone whose heartbeat would echo his own. Their lives, so vastly different, remained parallel until destiny orchestrated its plan through the arrival of a third person, Rohan. Rohan was everything Mira should have wanted. Successful, confident, and charming, he seemed like the perfect companion. Their families thought so too, and before she could object, their paths became intertwined through circumstances beyond her control. A convenient match, it was called. A love story waiting to happen, they said. And yet, Mira felt nothing. Arav, watching from the sidelines, felt his heart twist in unexpected ways. He had seen Mira before, always distant, always lost in thought, always dismissing love as if it were an unnecessary burden. And yet, something about her pulled him in. A silent force, a thread unseen, made his heart ache whenever she walked past, unaware of the storm within him. Rohan, sensing her hesitation, sought to win her over with gestures of grandeur, dinners, flowers, promises whispered under city lights. And though Mira played her role well, inside she remained unmoved, unaffected. There was a void between them, an absence of something vital, something real. Arav, on the other hand, never tried to win her, never sought to impress her. Instead, he existed in the background, weaving through her life in the simplest of ways. A fleeting glance, a knowing silence, a presence that made her restless. Then came a moment, unplanned, yet powerful, a sudden storm, rain crashing against the earth, and in the midst of it, Mira found herself stranded. Roads flooded, power flickered, and the city seemed to hold its breath. Seeking shelter, she stumbled into an old bookstore, its warmth contrasting with the cold chaos outside. And there, unexpectedly, was Arav. He did not greet her with words or grand gestures. Instead, he acknowledged her presence with a mere nod and continued flipping through the worn-out pages of a book. Something shifted in her heart, a strange comfort in his quiet acceptance of her existence. For the first time, Mira noticed the warmth he carried, the way his presence felt like a familiar melody she had never heard yet somehow recognized. She felt seen, not as someone to be won over, not as a logical choice, but simply as herself. Days passed, and though the rain had ceased, the encounter lingered. Rohan, unaware of the silent war within Mira's heart, continued to build a future with her. But the weight of a love that did not belong to her grew heavier, suffocating. Then the moment arrived, an engagement planned, a ring chosen, a future dictated by expectations. And yet, standing before it all, Mira found herself searching, not for Rohan, but for the one who had unknowingly unraveled her walls. Arav stood on the outskirts of the celebration, watching the woman he had unknowingly fallen for step toward a future that did not belong to her. He knew she had never believed in love, and perhaps she never would. And yet, something within him whispered, if she turned, if she hesitated even for a moment, then perhaps she had felt it too. And she did. It was not a dramatic moment, nor a grand confession. Instead, it was simple. She turned, met his eyes, and in that instant, they both knew. A silent choice was made. Rohan, with all his certainty, saw the truth before words were spoken. He had always known, perhaps even before Mira herself. With a sad, knowing smile, he let her go. Mira walked towards Arav, towards something unknown yet undeniable. There were no promises made, no assurances of forever. But as they stood before each other, amidst a world that tried to dictate their paths, they understood. Love was not about certainty, but about finding a soul that felt like home. Love is not always found in the grandest gestures or the most logical choices. Sometimes it exists in the quiet moments, in the unspoken understanding, in the presence of someone who sees you as you are. It is not about finding someone who checks all the right boxes, but about discovering a connection that, against all odds, feels undeniably right.